I've been wanting to make a chandelier for a long time, so I find them very beautiful and also grandiose, and there's lots of different contrasts about them. It gave me an opportunity when knowing how big the gallery was to be able to make it. So I came here to work on this chandelier, and I've also been drawing a pitcher plant, a carnivorous plant, for a long time, and wanted to make the chandelier in the shape of the carnivorous plant. When I heard that I could be here in Bangkok, I found out that the pitcher plant was in fact a Thai plant, and the name of the plant colloquially in Thai means a monkey's cooking pot. So I had the idea of creating a huge scale monkey's cooking pot, which crashes to the ground because the monkey's been too ambitious to get too many, has too many victims inside the plants, and so the whole scale of the thing crashes to the ground. It was a huge project to undertake here in 2 weeks, and what was incredibly special for me was the volunteers who came to help to make the piece. And we, first of all, when I was working with structural engineers to decide how to make the piece, they said I needed to make it in metal chain. And we went to the markets, bought the chain, and I realised at this point that it was very, very masculine and strong and shiny, and not what I wanted. I wanted something that would be a contrast to that, and came up with the idea of covering each one in ribbons. And I wanted to make something that was the colours of Bangkok, so seeing the taxis and the colour everywhere was sort of pinks and reds, and so I decided to get ribbons covering every bit of metal so you wouldn't see it at all, and have the contrast that you see in Bangkok, which all the volunteers helped to do. So it seemed absolutely impossible in 2 weeks to cover over 1,000 chinks of metal, but because there were so many people doing it, we managed to do this. It was also really interesting to hear how all the volunteers were saying it felt like a sort of traditional Thai celebration where they would sit round a table and make something, say, for a wedding or party. And I really liked this idea that they were so involved, and they said it was very special to them. So it's been a fantastic opportunity. This is the most monumental sculpture I've ever made. I didn't know it was possible to make something on this scale. And in terms of fragility, for instance, just the fabric, the cutting of the ribbons, the fur, everything is very fragile, and I really like that contrast of creating something that is just so huge but fragile at the same time, and that's been the concept for me. Yeah. For me, the most interesting thing has been the interaction between the artists and the people who work here and the volunteers. It's been a really incredible experience of learning about Thai culture. I haven't had a chance to see Bangkok from the outside, but I've learnt so much about it being here with all the people here. And for me, that's been the most exciting thing, and learning from the other artists what it means to be Thai, and the interaction between that we've talked about of coming from London and what we have in common and what are our differences and things.